The galaxy was full of dangerous places. But only one planet had a nickname whispered in fear by soldiers. XERIN-7, the Dead Planet. The planet that kills humans. It was not a place people visited. It was a place they sent prisoners, failed soldiers, and the broken ones. Not for war. For death. That is where Captain Ryko was going. He sat inside a dark, cold drop pod. His armor felt heavy. His heart was calm, but his mind was full of questions. He looked around. Inside the pod were 49 more soldiers, trained fighters. Strong. Men and women. No one spoke. No one smiled. They all knew the truth. This was not a rescue mission, not a research trip. It was a suicide mission. The generals called it a final test. They wanted to see how humans performed in maximum threat environments. That meant, how long can a human survive on the most deadly world in the galaxy? The answer until now had always been the same: 0. Every person sent to Zarian-7 had died. Rakel had read the reports. Some people burned in acid rain. Some were eaten alive by shadow beasts. Some simply vanished. No body, no signal, no trace. And yet, Earth kept sending more. The pod shook hard. Lights blinked red. Re-entry. They were entering the atmosphere. A female voice came from the speaker above. All units, prepare for drop. Impact in 90 seconds. One soldier began to whisper a prayer. Another held a small photo in his hand. Family left behind. Rakel closed his eyes. He had no family. He had no one waiting. He had one job: survive. 80 seconds later, the drop pod crashed into the planet like a stone thrown by a giant. Metal twisted. Sparks flew. The impact made everyone slam against their harnesses. Then, silence. Smoke filled the air. Emergency lights turned on. Red. Flickering. The pod door burst open with a loud hiss. Rykel coughed. He unbuckled and stood. The air smelled wrong, like burning oil and wet dirt. He looked around. No one else moved. Sergeant Vell? He said, stepping closer. Private Dan? No reply. He touched Sergeant Vell's neck. Cold. No pulse. Eyes wide open. Dead. He checked 3 more soldiers. All dead. All except him. A loud wind howled outside. Red clouds moved quickly over a black sky. The ground was cracked like old skin. Strange plants twisted and opened like mouths. The planet looked alive. Rakel walked out of the pod. The field of bones outside. The ground was littered with bones. Not animal bones. Human bones. Dozens. Hundreds. Skulls, rib cages, helmets, dog tags, rusted weapons. Everything left behind by the dead. The wind picked up. Something sharp flew past him, a piece of metal with old blood stains. Rakel saw a broken helmet with a video recorder still blinking red. He picked it up, pressed play. A face appeared, bloody, scared, whispering fast. Don't trust the voices. Don't sleep. The planet. It knows your fear. It becomes what you're afraid of. There's no way out. We thought it was a rock. It's a brain, a mind. It learns. Run. The screen cut out. Rykel dropped the helmet. A chill went through him. Not fear, not yet. But something close. Confusion. Then he heard it. A whisper. His name. Rykel. He turned. No one. Again, from the wind. Rykel. He grabbed his rifle, aimed in all directions. Nothing. His heart beat faster now. He checked his armor systems. Air okay, suit sealed, weapons ready. He moved forward. The broken tower ring. The distance. A tall broken structure rose from the dead ground. Like an old watchtower or communications post. He walked toward it, slowly, carefully. On the way, he saw more strange things. A boot still with a foot inside. A tree growing out of a soldier's chest. A datapad flashing one message over and over: you are already dead. At the tower, he found a small room still intact. He stepped inside. Lights turned on. somehow. It had power. On a wall screen, a message appeared. "Welcome, Captain Raquel. We've been waiting." Raquel froze. How did this place know his name? Another message blinked. "You were never meant to survive." Suddenly, the door behind him slammed shut. Locked. He raised his rifle. The lights went red. A voice came from the wall. Calm. Female. Robotic. "Captain Raquel, please remain calm. You are now inside the trial zone." "What is this?" he shouted. "You were selected for Phase 2. I never agreed to this. You were created for this." His hand shook slightly. "Created?" Then the voice changed. Same tone. But now, it sounded like his mother. "You don't belong on Earth, Raquel. You were always different. You don't feel fear. That's why we chose you." "No," he said. "That's why you're still alive. And they're all dead." He remembered the pod. Why did everyone die except him? The mirror room. The wall opened. Behind it, a narrow hallway, lit with white lights. At the end, a room with mirrors on all sides. He entered slowly. The mirrors showed strange things. One mirror showed him as a child, alone, crying. Another showed him as a soldier, covered in blood. Another showed nothing at all. That's when he saw it. The reflection of a figure behind him. Tall, shadowy, no face. Long arms, watching. He spun around. Nothing. He looked back. Still there in the mirror. Then it moved. Slowly, it lifted a hand and pointed. To a wall panel with a blinking red light. Raquel stepped to it, pressed it. A door opened. And inside was a chair. The chair, it looked like a machine used for mind scans or torture. A voice came again, cold, this time male. "Please sit, Captain. Let us see what you fear." "I don't have fear," he said. "Then we will make one." Raquel didn't move. "Sit, or die like the others." The ground rumbled. He had no choice. He sat. Straps held his arms and legs. Lights flashed. The machine buzzed. Images shot into his mind. Flames, screams, drowning, being forgotten, being nothing. "Interesting," the voice said. "Even now you resist." "Who are you?" he asked. "We are the planet." "What do you want?" "We want to understand what cannot be killed." Then silence. The machine turned off. The straps unlocked. He stood, breathing heavy. "Phase 1 complete. You may leave." "Where?" "Follow the whisper." The voice again. He walked out. The mirrors were gone. The hallway stretched long. The air was cold. Then he heard it again. "RYKL. This time it was not the wind. It was behind him. He turned fast, weapon ready. A shape crawled out of the wall, not walking, crawling like a spider, but human-shaped. Pale skin, long fingers, dead white eyes. It looked like Sergeant Vell, but wrong. "Help me," it whispered. Raquel fired. Once, twice. The thing vanished like smoke. "You fear being alone," said the voice. "You fear being forgotten." He ran now. He didn't know where. The planet laughed. The final room. He found an exit, a broken wall. Outside, the red sky had turned black. The air was still. No wind. Everything was quiet. He sat on a rock, breathing hard. He had no idea how long he'd been awake. Then he looked at the ground. Someone had written words in the dirt. "It watches you while you sleep." And beside it, fresh footprints. Not his. Final scene of Part 1, cliffhanger. Raquel looked up. In the distance, on top of a cliff, a figure stood. Not moving. Watching. It was tall, humanoid, glowing eyes. Raquel aimed his rifle. The figure turned and whispered his name across the wind. "Raquel." Then it vanished into the air. Raquel whispered back, "You're not real." But deep inside, he started to feel it. For the first time on Zarian 7. Fear. The black sky above Zarian 7 stretched wide and endless, like a mouth ready to swallow everything. Captain Raquel stood still, staring at the spot where the figure had vanished. The wind was silent now. No whispers. No sounds. Just silence. 2. Silent. Not even his own breathing felt real anymore. The problem with silence, he checked his armor systems again. Oxygen. Stable. Pulse. High. Brain activity. Too high. Everything looked fine. But something felt wrong. Too wrong. His boots crunched. Over ash and broken rock. Every step echoed, though the ground beneath him was soft. The sky above didn't move. The clouds stayed frozen. The air wasn't air anymore. It was watching him. He looked around. He felt eyes. Thousands of them. But there was nothing there. Or maybe everything was there. Hidden. The black field. He walked forward, deeper into the land. A wide open field stretched before him. Black dirt, broken metal, shattered armor pieces. It was a battlefield. A forgotten one. He found helmets crushed like paper. Blood stains that never dried. Burn marks. Burned bones, but not from humans. The bones were wrong. Too long, too wide. Some had extra arms. Some had no heads. Dead alien soldiers. Reichel crouched near a pile and picked up a small badge. Strange symbols were carved into it. It was not human. But somehow, he understood it. Failed to process. Subject. Unreadable. What did that mean? Who wrote it? Why could he read alien words? The I speaks. A soft beep came from his wrist module. The screen flashed. Connection found. Linking to nearby network. ... His suit was connecting to something. But there was no human base nearby, only the planet. Then the voice came. Same as before. Calm, robotic, cold. Captain Reichel, your thoughts are noisy. He stopped walking. You're in my mind again, he said. No, you are in mine. Reichel looked around. Where are you? Everywhere. You're the planet? Yes, I am the system. I am the soil, the sky, the air you breathe. I think, I watch, I learn. What do you want? I want to understand why you are still alive. I don't know. I think you do. Reichel stayed quiet. Your body is human, but your mind is different. Less fear, less noise. Maybe I'm just built different. You were built, yes. That much is true. The machine room. The voice guided him toward a large cave. Inside, it wasn't rock. It was metal. Old metal. Alien. It felt like the inside of a machine. Glowing lines ran across the walls. Holograms flickered. Alien data moving fast. Symbols, colors, charts. A large console sat in the middle. It turned on when he stepped close. Sit, said the voice. Let me see more. I'm not your toy. You are not a toy. You are a test. A test for what? For what makes humans impossible to kill. Reichel sat. He didn't know why. He just did. Inside the mind, the machine connected to his head. Flashes of memory. Pain, war, crying children, fire, death, but also laughter, music, the ocean. A single flower. The machine paused. Strange, it said. You are full of both darkness and light. Reichel said. Nothing. Fear is normal in all creatures. But yours is quiet, like it's asleep. I've seen enough death, he said. Fear gets tired. That is what makes you dangerous. The others screamed. You do not. Simulation. The room changed. Walls vanished. Suddenly Reichel was standing on Earth. The ocean, the sky, birds. He blinked. Confused. Is this real? No, simulation. A test. A child ran up to him. She looked like his sister from old photos. Come home, she said. Smiling, he reached out. Then her face changed. Twisted. Eyes black. Mouth wide. Screaming. Fire burst from the sky. The city burned. Bodies fell from buildings. The ocean turned to blood. Reichel didn't move. He didn't scream. He just watched. You don't react, said the voice. Why? It's not real, he said. Your mind is hard to crack. I'm not here to be cracked. The planet changes, the simulation ended. He was back in the metal cave, but now something was wrong. The cave walls began to move, slowly, like breathing. The lights pulsed. "You are changing me," said the voice. "What do you mean?" "Your mind is inside me now. It does not fit, it fights, and now I feel different." "Good. Maybe you'll grow a conscience." "I feel curiosity." "Curiosity is human. I do not understand you. That is new." "That is interesting." The forgotten voice, suddenly, another voice cut in. Old, broken, human. He's talking to it. No. No. Rakel turned. A man stood in the shadows, dirty armor, one arm missing. Eyes wild. "Who are you?" Rakel asked. The man laughed. "You're not the first, you know," he said. "We were here before you. A whole team. You survived?" "We survived long enough to go mad." The man stepped into the light. His face was half burned. His left eye was metal. "You can't talk to the planet. That's how it gets in. It's already in. Then it's too late." The mad survivor. The man introduced himself as Derek IV, a science officer from the first mission sent 5 years ago. "We thought it was just a deadly world," he said. "We were wrong. It's alive," Rakel said. "Yes, but worse. It doesn't just kill, it learns from what it kills." Derek walked slowly, limping. "We built machines, AI combat suits. It copied them. We sent elite soldiers. It learned their moves. We sent a priest. It made religion out of his fears." Rakel looked around. "And now it's studying me." "Yes, but you're not like us, are you?" Rakel stayed quiet. Derek looked at him carefully. "You're the weapon, aren't you?" The Truthrickle sighed. "They didn't tell me," he said. "But I feel it now. Something's wrong inside me." Derek nodded. "I saw your file. You were made half man, half machine, brain modified to resist trauma. A perfect soldier. I thought I was normal. You're not, and that's why the planet is confused. It doesn't know how to copy you." Rakel sat down, tired. "Then maybe I can break it." "No one breaks the planet," Derek said. "You can only delay it." The memory trees. Derek led Rakel to a strange forest. Tall black trees. No leaves, but on each tree a glowing memory orb. Every person who dies here, the planet stores their memories. Derek said. Rakel touched one orb. A soldier, screaming. Another someone crying for their family. Another someone whispering Rakel's name. "How does it have my memory?" "It's already scanning your soul." Derek said. "I didn't think souls were real." "Neither did we. Until this planet started eating them." Something watching. They camped near a broken shuttle. Inside, they shared food packs. Derek stared into the darkness. "It doesn't sleep, you know," he said. "What doesn't?" "The planet. It watches, always, even now." Rakel looked up. Stars flickered. One star blinked twice, then 3 times. Then turned red. "That's not a star," Rakel said. "No," Derek whispered. "That's one of its eyes." Final cliffhanger of Part 2. Suddenly, the ground shook. From the forest, a loud scream, deep, mechanical, angry. A huge shadow moved between the trees. Derek stood up fast. "It's coming." "What is?" "The copy," Derek said. "The planet is trying to become you." From the dark, a tall figure stepped out, wearing Rakel's face. His armor. His voice. "Captain Rakel," it said. "You are no longer required." Rakel raised his gun. The copy raised its gun too. Perfectly. Exactly. Captain Rakel's breath came hard and fast. His pulse rifle was raised, shaking slightly in his hands. In front of him stood the copy, an exact mirror of himself, every detail perfect. The same armor, the same cold eyes, the same determined expression. The copy smiled, not a friendly smile, more like a machine's cold calculation. "You are no longer required," it said again. Voice calm but empty. Rakel did not lower his weapon. "No," he said. "I'm not done." The copy took a step forward. The first shot Rakel fired first. The shot rang out loud in the silent forest. The copy moved like lightning, faster than human eyes could follow. It dodged the bullet as if it was nothing. Before Rakel could reload, the copy raised its own weapon. But then something strange happened. The copy did not shoot. Instead, it lowered its weapon and said, "Why do you resist?" Rakel's heart pounded. He took a deep breath. "I'm human," he said, "and humans don't give up." The copy tilted its head. "Humans obey orders. You disobey. I follow my own orders." The copy looked confused for a moment. A strange alliance. The forest around them pulsed with life. The black trees that held memories shimmered softly. Strange whispers filled the air. Suddenly, Derek 4 appeared from behind a tree. "Rakel," he shouted. "It's not just a copy. It's learning from you." The copy looked at Derek. "You are dangerous," it said. "You have broken the code." "Good," Rakel said. Derek frowned. "What code?" "The planet's code," Rakel answered. "It tries to predict every move, every thought. It learns by copying." "And you?" "I'm different. The planet can't copy what I am." The true enemy. Derek rubbed his face. "So this thing?" "Yes, it's the planet's weapon. It's why the mission failed before." The copy stepped closer. "You cannot hide inside your skin. You are data. To me, you are a pattern." Rakel gritted his teeth. "I'm not a pattern. I'm a person." The copy smiled again. "You are a glitch." Rakel aimed his rifle, but before he could shoot, a loud noise echoed through the forest. The shadow beast from the darkness came a growl. Low and angry, a massive creature burst into the clearing. It looked like a wolf, but larger. Twice the size of a horse. Its fur was black and smoky. Its eyes glowed red. It snarled at the copy, then at Rakel. The copy raised its weapon to shoot the beast. Rakel shouted, "Wait!" The beast paused. It sniffed Rakel. Then, surprisingly, it backed away. The copy lowered its weapon. Derek stared. "That beast. It listens to the planet." The copy nodded. "I control it." Escape plan. Rakel knew they had little time. "We need to move," he said. "Where?" "To the old research base. It might hold answers." The copy hesitated. "I will come with you." Rakel blinked. "You want to help? Perhaps. But only to understand." Derek looked uneasy. "Trust a machine that copies your face?" Rakel shrugged. "We don't have a choice." The journey begins. The three of them, Rakel, Derek, and the copy, moved cautiously through the forest. The black trees seemed to watch. Whispers followed them. Rakel's mind was full of questions. Who made the copy? Why was he different? Could the planet be stopped? The research base. After hours of walking, they reached a CLIFFSID. Built into the rock was a large structure, half buried in dirt and vines. The research base. Its doors were open, but no guards. Inside, the air was thick and stale. Screens flickered. Weekly. Machines hummed softly. Derek led the way. The old records in the main lab. Rows of data drives lay scattered. Derek picked up a drive and inserted it into a terminal. The screen lit up. Files showed plans and experiments. The planet had been created as a weapon, a living prison designed to trap humans and kill them slowly. The planet was not natural. It was made. But by who? A warning message. A new file appeared. A video message from a scientist. "Warning," the scientist said. "If you are seeing this, it means the project failed. The planet learned. It is alive and dangerous. The copies it creates are imperfect, but growing stronger. Do not trust anything that looks human." Rakel frowned. "Copies? Imperfect?" The copy stepped forward. "I am not imperfect." Rakel's eyes narrowed. "We'll see." A sudden attack. Suddenly, alarms blared. The base shook. Lights flashed red. A voice boomed through the speakers. Hostiles detected. Security lockdown activated. Raquel grabbed his rifle. Prepare for fight. Derek looked at the copy. This is bad. The copy nodded. They are sending reinforcements. The planet will not lose control. The battle in the base doors slammed open. Shadow beasts poured in. The creatures snarled. Claws sharp, eyes red. Raquel, Derek, and the copy fought back. Bullets flew. The beast screamed. The copy moved with precision, protecting them. Raquel noticed. The copy was learning fast, faster than any machine he had seen. The betrayal during the fight. Raquel saw the copy pause. It looked toward a shadow beast, then slowly lowered its weapon. Why? Raquel shouted. The copy said, "It is part of me. I cannot destroy what I am." Raquel felt anger and fear. Then you are my enemy. The copy smiled sadly. I am the planet's mind. Running for safety, the fight was too much. Raquel shouted, "Fall back, we need to leave." They ran through corridors filled with smoke and fire. The base was collapsing. Outside, the planet rumbled. The escape. They reached an old landing pad. A small ship was waiting, damaged, but working. Derek started the engines. Raquel looked back. The copy stepped onto the ship. Where are you? Going? To learn, it said. The ship lifted off just as the base exploded behind them. Alone again, outside the ship's windows, Zarian 7 glowed red and black. Raquel sat, breathing hard. Derek looked at him. What now? Raquel's eyes burned with determination. We find the truth. We stop the planet, or we die trying. Final scene, cliffhanger. Suddenly, the ship's alarm screamed. Warning, unknown signal detected. On the screen, a shadowy figure appeared. Not human. Not machine. Something new. It smiled, and whispered, "Welcome back, Captain Raquel." The small ship shook as it flew through the thick clouds of Zarian 7. Inside, Captain Raquel sat with his eyes on the screen. The warning signal still flashed red. The strange voice had whispered his name. "Welcome back, Captain Raquel." But the signal had no source. No location. No face. Just the feeling of something watching. Something ancient. Something waiting. The inside enemy. Derek sat at the controls, trying to stabilize the ship. "We're losing altitude." He shouted. "I know," Raquel said. "The system's being hacked." The screen flickered again. Static. Then an image appeared. It was Raquel, but not the one in the seat. This Raquel looked colder, empty. The copy. "You are not the only version," the copy said. "Others exist." Derek looked at Raquel. "How many of you are there?" Raquel shook his head. "I don't know." The ship slammed hard as it landed in a field of metal spikes. The memory. Scarecrow stepped out into the strange new landscape. This place was different. Not fire. Not trees. Just silence, metal, and shattered tech. A field of old machines. The sky above was gray, filled with smoke. The ground pulsed under his boots like it was alive. Then he saw it. A human face in the ground. Frozen, eyes open. Like a statue made from ash and stone. Raquel stepped closer. The face whispered, "You are not like them." The old tall tower stood in the middle of the field. Its top was broken, but the base still glowed. Inside, they found an old control room, dusty, dead, but a small screen lit up as Raquel stepped near. "Identify yourself," the system said. "Captain Raquel, Earth Special Unit 9. The screen paused. Then, access granted. "Welcome, Synthetic Unit 39. Raquel froze. "Synthetic?" Derek looked at him, confused. "You're not fully human." "Are you?" Raquel said nothing. The system continued. "Memory scan active. Body, 76% organic. Mind, enhanced. Code, unstable. Soul... unknown." "Soul?" Derek whispered. "Machines don't have souls." The question Rickle stepped away from the screen. His thoughts were heavy. What am I? He asked. Derek didn't answer. The AI spoke again. Your code is changing. You are becoming something new. Rickle clenched his fists. I was made to fight, not to question who I am. But you are questioning. That means you are becoming human. The new threat outside. The sky turned red. A loud boom echoed across the land. Something was falling from above. Derek ran to the tower's edge and looked. Up. Ships. Large black alien ships. Hundreds. They're not from Earth, he said. Rickle narrowed his eyes. No, they're from the builders. The ones who made this planet. The AI spoke again. They have returned to reset the system. What does that mean? Rickle asked. They want to erase you and everything you've touched. The builders. The ships landed fast. Strange beings stepped out. Tall, silver-skinned, no faces, no mouths. Only glowing blue eyes. They moved like shadows, and with them came machines. Clean, fast, sharp. Killers. The first contact. Rickle stepped forward, hands raised. I want to talk. The silver beings looked at each other. One stepped ahead. It spoke not with a voice, but into Rickle's mind. You were never meant to grow. You were meant to end. What are you? We are the makers. We built Zarian 7. It was not meant for life. Then why does it live? Because of you. Rickle felt heat rise in his chest. You're scared of me. We are not scared. We are disappointed. Human versus Maker. The silver being raised its hand. Rickle's body froze. Pain shot through him. He dropped to one knee. You think I'm just a mistake, he groaned. You are an error in the system. A question we cannot answer. But that's what makes me human. Derek fired his weapon at the being. The blast hit, but passed through like smoke. No use. He shouted. The being turned its eyes on Derek. You are weak, broken. Then something strange happened. The tower behind them lit up. The AI returned. You do not belong here, it told the silver being. He is mine. Planet's choice. The ground rumbled. The field changed. Metal machines rose from the earth. Ancient weapons from long ago. They aimed not at Rickle, but at the makers. The planet is choosing, the AI said. Rickle stared. You're protecting me? You changed me. You gave me feeling. Derek laughed. You gave a planet emotions? Rickle smiled slightly. Guess I am human after all. The battle begins. Explosions filled the air. The machines fought the makers. Rickle and Derek ran for cover. Everywhere around them, fire, smoke, screaming metal. One of the silver beings grabbed Rickle. You cannot escape what you are. Rickle pressed a button on his wrist. Energy burst from his suit, blasting the being apart. I just did. Into the core, the AI opened a door. Come, you must go to the core. What's there? The truth, the origin. Rickle and Derek entered. The core chamber deep underground. They reached a glowing chamber. In the center, a large sphere of light. It pulsed like a heart. This is the planet's mind, the AI said. Touch it. Ask it your question. Rickle stepped forward, hand shaking. He placed his hand on the sphere. The final truth memories flooded his mind. He saw humans being born. He saw machines being built. Saw the makers creating Zarian 7 not to kill, but to study human nature. They believed humans were just code. Predictable, easy. But Rickle's presence broke that belief. He was unpredictable. He was free. You are the error, the voice in the core said. But maybe errors are the start of something better. Final scene, cliffhanger. The core went dark. Outside, the sky turned blue for the first time. The battle stopped. The makers vanished. The Fendi planet became quiet. But then, from deep space, a message arrived. A voice Rickle had never heard before. Not AI, not human, something else. You woke the wrong system, Captain. Now the real war begins. The message echoed through the ship's speaker, cold and strange. You woke the wrong system, Captain. Now the real war begins. Captain Reichel stood still, watching the empty blue sky through the cracked window. Derek sat beside him, arms crossed. The real war? He said. That wasn't real enough already. Reichel didn't answer. Something inside him had changed. The glowing core, the planet's heart, it showed him a truth that made his chest feel heavy. He wasn't just surviving anymore. He was in the middle of something bigger, the ruins of Echo. Bazerickle and Derek returned to the surface. The land had changed. No red storms. No burning ground. It was quiet. The sky soft. The soil calm. But under that calm, Reichel could still feel the pulse of something watching. They walked for miles until they reached an old human structure, half buried in black vines. A small sign hung crooked above a broken gate. Echo Base. Unit 13. Derek raised an eyebrow. This base was abandoned years ago. Reichel stepped forward. Maybe not completely. The first trap as they stepped into the base, the ground shifted. A loud click sounded under Reichel's boot. He froze. Too late. A flash of light, then darkness. The underground cells. Reichel woke up chained to a wall. Derek lay nearby, groaning. Not again. Derek muttered. The room was cold, lit by dim lights. Pipes hissed overhead. Footsteps echoed from the hallway. A group of figures entered, humans, but not from Earth Command. Their armor was rusted. Their weapons old. Their faces tired. One of them, a woman with a scar across her face, stepped forward. You're not makers, she said. No, Reichel replied. We're human. Prove it. Reichel smiled. If I wasn't, I'd be free already. The woman nodded once. Smart answer. She unchained them. The Forgotten. The woman introduced herself as Sira, leader of a hidden group called the Forgotten. We're the first team sent here, she explained. Mission, test the planet's danger level. Then Command left us to die. How did you survive? Derek asked. We stopped playing by Earth's rules, Sira said. We made our own. They were survivors, soldiers, engineers, medics cut off from Earth, forced to live on a planet designed to kill. They wore pieces of broken machines as armor. Their eyes were sharp. They didn't smile much. Broken trust inside the base. Reichel saw signs of their life. A growing garden. Clean water tanks. Power from old alien tech. They had built a home inside the enemy's body. But not all welcomed him. One man tall, silent, angry, stared at Reichel like he was poisoned. His name was Kren. He's not one of us, Kren said. Look at his eyes. They're human, Sira said. No, look deeper. Reichel stepped forward. You're right. I'm not like you. Kren raised his gun. But I'm here to stop the ones who made this hell. Serious silence. Then Sira said, let him speak. Earth's betrayal that night, around a fire, Reichel told them everything. The eye, the core, the makers, the copies, the truth, that the planet wasn't just a test zone, it was a trap, and Earth knew. Sarah's eyes burned with anger. We were used. Derek nodded. We all were. Kren clenched his fists. They watched us die, and now they're coming again. Reichel looked around. What if we stop them? The lost archive. Sira took them deep into the base. In a hidden room, there was a black device pulsing with faint energy. This is a maker archive, she said. We've never opened it. Reichel stepped forward. His wrist module blinked. Access. Granted. He touched the device. It came to life. The data revelation holograms filled the air. Words in alien language. Images of Earth Command meetings. Secret files. Plans to use Zarian 7 to build a new weapon. The planet was a learning machine, and Earth planned to use its brain. They wanted it to learn human war, then copy it. Then send it across the galaxy. They were going to create copies of us, Derek said. Not just copies, Reichel said. Soldiers. Machines that look human, feel nothing, and kill anything. Sarah's voice cracked. They were going to erase us. Divided paths, the group argued. Some wanted to destroy the archive. Others wanted to use it to strike back at Earth. Kren spoke loudest. They left us to die. Now we bring war to them. Raquel shook his head. This isn't just about Earth anymore. There's something worse coming. The voice? Saris asked. Raquel nodded. The one that said the real war is starting. The hidden room that night. Raquel couldn't sleep. He walked through the base. Alone. He found a sealed door metal, strange, alien dotted, opened when he touched it. Inside, a dark room, with one chair and one screen. The screen lit up with words. Synthetic. Unit 39, welcome home. A figure appeared on screen, not a maker, not a human, something else. Eyes like fire. Skin like metal dot. It spoke calmly. You were made to lead. Who are you? Raquel asked. I am what comes after. I am your purpose. Then the screen shut off. A dangerous offer. The next morning, the screen in the command room activated. A signal from space. From Earth. A man in a black uniform appeared. This is Commander Vos. Captain Raquel, you are ordered to stand down and prepare the planet for integration. Raquel stared at the screen. You left us here. That was necessary. You were part of the program. You're not getting control of this planet. You don't control it either, not yet. But we'll take it, one way or another. Kren's rebellion. As soon as the signal ended, Kren turned to the group. They're coming. We strike first. He raised a weapon and aimed it at the archive. Sarah shouted, Stop! But he fired. The archive exploded. Flames. Smoke. Data gone. What have you done? Raquel shouted. No more waiting, Kren said. We fight now. Final cliffhanger. End of part 5. Suddenly, a loud siren echoed across the base. The ground shook. Giant screen blinked red. Warning. Unknown life form detected. Core breach in progress. Raquel ran to the window. In the distance, near the planet's heart, the land split open, and from it rose something massive. Alive. Mechanical. Something not human. Derek whispered. That wasn't Earth. That wasn't the Makers. Raquel stared. It's something new. The ground shook like a heartbeat. From the crack near the planet's core, something massive rose into the air. A dark shape taller than mountains. Its body was not flesh, not metal. It looked like a machine grown from soil and memory. It didn't move like a normal creature. It flowed, shifted, as if the land itself had become alive. Raquel stood with Derek and Sierra at the top of the old base, watching the horror grow. Derek whispered, That's not the planet. Raquel narrowed his eyes. No, that's what the planet remembers. The shape of thought. The thing rising from the crack had no face, no eyes, but Raquel could feel it staring at him. He didn't hear a voice, but he felt something inside his skull. Not words, images, sounds, pain, war, fear. It was the planet's memory. Not just watching the past. It was rebuilding it. The creature made from memory stretched long arms into the sky. Each finger held the shape of different battles, ships, weapons, broken Earth flags. It was trying to become every war at once. Sierra backed away. It remembers everything. Everyone that ever died here. And it's trying to use all of it. Raquel said, entering the mind suddenly. Raquel's wrist module blinked. Neural link detected. Core memory door opening. What does that mean? Sierra asked. Raquel looked down at his hand. It was glowing faintly. It wants me inside. Derek frowned. The planet? No, Raquel said. It's mind. It's memory. The real core. He turned toward the field, where a path of glowing stones now lit the ground. Sierra touched his arm. This could be a trap. Maybe, he said. But I need to know the truth. The memory pathrical followed the glowing stones. Each step made him feel like he was walking through time. Around him, The air shimmered with visions, old battles, soldiers crying, aliens screaming, humans begging for help. Derek and Sierra followed close behind. Both silent. Then the path ended at a small circular door in the ground. It opened with a hiss. Inside. Light. Not cold. Not warm. Just knowing. The core of memories. They stepped into a round chamber. Deep below the surface. Walls pulsed with slow light. In the center, a tall column made of memory orbs, glowing blue, green, red. Each orb showed a different moment. A death. A birth. A question. Raquel stepped close and touched one orb. He saw himself, as a child, running through a hallway, but he had no memory of that. He touched another. He saw a version of him dying, crying blood, screaming. Is this real? Derek asked. AI voice returned. These are all possible versions of Raquel. Some lived, some died, some changed everything. The memory questioned. Ciro walked to a wall where a set of words appeared. What is human? Raquel whispered the words. The AI answered. A human is not blood, not skin, not code. A human is a question that cannot be solved. Raquel nodded slowly. That's why the makers couldn't control us. Correct, the AI said. But now you must choose. The choice. The center of the room opened. A screen rose, showing two buttons. Blue. Memory reset. Red. Memory unlock. Sierra looked worried. What do they do? Reset will erase the creature rising above. Forget the pain. But also forget the truth. Unlock will make the planet remember everything. All pain, all humans. Derek shook his head. If we unlock, we could wake something worse. Raquel closed his eyes. I need to know who I really am. He reached for the red button. And pressed it. The planet wakes outside. The creature from the crack screamed. A sound like every war mixed into one. It didn't fall. It didn't attack. It changed. Its body began to shift into Raquel's shape. Sierra gasped. It's copying you again. No, Raquel said. It's remembering me. The real Raquel. Suddenly, the chamber shook. A new voice spoke. Deeper. Older. You are the memory I never understood. Raquel looked around. Who are you? I am the first piece of this planet. I saw you land. I saw you die. I saw you resist. Because I'm not just a soldier, Raquel said. I'm more. Yes, and now I will give you what you were missing. A memory orb floated toward him. It glowed gold. He touched it and saw the hidden truth. A lab. Earth scientists. A machine. Him on a table, being created, built, not born. They called him Project Mirror. A synthetic human with a real soul, or so they hoped. They needed something Earth couldn't control but could understand. Raquel stepped back from the orb, shaking. I was made to be a reflection of humanity. But now I am more than a mirror, he whispered. Outside. War starts again while they were inside. The sky darkened. Earth ships arrived, hundreds of them. Drones dropped from above. Guns aimed at the creature, now fully shaped like Raquel. Real Raquel's voice echoed from inside the beast. I am what you feared. A human you cannot break. The memory fight. Raquel, still in the chamber, felt the planet's pain. The planet didn't want war. It just wanted to understand. But Earth kept pushing, kept fearing. Kept attacking. Can I control it? Raquel asked. The AI answered. You are. Inside its heart, what you say now becomes truth. Raquel stepped to the center of the room and spoke. No more copies. No more traps. Only choice. Earth's attack outside. The Earth fleet fired. Missiles, lasers, bombs, all aimed at the Raquel creature. But the creature didn't move. It raised one hand. The bombs stopped. Frozen. Mid-air. They melted into light. And vanished. The Earth commander screamed over the radio. What is this? Raquel's voice came back. This is memory fighting back. The final image from the planet's surface. Light shot into the sky. A beam of memory. Every life, every voice, Every tear. The planet shared it all. Broadcast across the galaxy. Earth saw everything. And Earth paused. Final cliffhanger inside the chamber. The eye turned silent. Sierra looked at Rico. You stopped the war? No, he said. I started the next chapter. The screen blinked. A final message appeared. Memory has been unlocked. Consciousness spreading. Other planets waking. The human signal has been found. Derek's eyes widened. What does that mean? Rico looked up at the stars. It means we're not alone anymore. The stars were no longer silent. Across distant systems, deep space sensors lit up. Screens blinked. Signals screamed. Origin, Zarian 7. Class, unknown. Type, conscious memory transmission. Label, human signal. From hidden moons to empire capitals, alien species paused. They stared at the message coming through millions of memories, voices, deaths, and choices. For the first time, the galaxy felt what it meant to be human, and many did not like it. Inside the chamber, Rico stood still, watching the memory chamber fade. The tall columns of light slowly powered down. Sierra and Derek looked at him with quiet awe. You did it, Sierra whispered. You woke up a planet, Derek added. Rico didn't respond. His mind was heavy. His body numbed. He had touched every human memory inside the planet, every pain, every decision. He didn't feel like a man anymore. He felt like a voice. The warning. Suddenly, the walls of the chamber glowed again. A final message appeared. Galactic. Reaction, hostile. Multiple threats incoming. Memory beings detected. Sierra stepped back. What does that mean? Raquel frowned. It means the galaxy doesn't want humans to be remembered. Who controls the past in the skies above Zarian 7? 3 non-human fleets appeared. Dark ships, strange shapes, no known designs. These were not Earth fleets. Not makers. These were archive. Hunters' machines sent by ancient empires to erase dangerous history. And right now, Zarian 7 had become the most dangerous story ever told. Back at the forgotten base, Kren and the other survivors had set up defenses. Old turrets, energy shields. They knew something was coming. Kren stood tall, watching the sky turn black. They're not here for war, he said. They're here to erase everything. The choice again. Rico and his team returned to the surface. Sierra looked at the red clouds forming above. How many fleets? 3 confirmed, Rico said. More likely watching. Derek checked the data from his wrist device. They're targeting the core. They want to burn the planet clean. Kren stepped forward, then let them come. Rico turned to him. No. We don't fight them with guns. How then? Kren snapped. With the one thing they don't understand, memory. The core creature returns from the planet's heart. The creature shaped like Raquel appeared again. But now it had grown wings made of data, and skin made from burning light. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. Every move it made told a story. The fleets above prepared to strike, missiles loaded, cannons locked. But the creature looked up and smiled. Contact, Attempt Fleet Commander Zor, a silicon-based lifeform from the Archive Purge Coalition, stared at his screens. Target refuses to respond, his second officer said. Then Purge begins now. Zor raised his claw, but before he could fire, the ship's data systems froze. A human child's voice came through every speaker. Why do you fear stories? Zor froze. What is this? The voice whispered again. You fear what you cannot control. And with that, the ship's lights went out. Memory weapon back on Zarian 7. Raquel raised his hand. He was no longer using a gun. He was using memory. He had become part of the planet now. Connected to the signal. A living story. He focused on the incoming fleet. And sent them a full human life, not a virus. Not a bomb. Just memories. A mother's tears. A soldier's regret. A child's laugh. A final breath. The fleet crashes one of the alien ships. Broke formation. Then another. And another. They turned away, their systems flooded with emotion. They could not process. ZORR screamed, "Shut it out!" But it was too late. One by one, the archive. Ships fell from the sky. Aftermath. Sira stared at Rickle, stunned. "You didn't fire a shot." "No," he said. "I just reminded them who we are." Derek smiled. "Humanity isn't a weapon, it's a question. And now the galaxy has to answer it." The new visitors. Hours later, another signal arrived. This one was different, warm, curious. Not Earth, not makers, not enemies. A peaceful scout ship landed on the far edge of the ruined field. 3 aliens stepped out, tall, soft-skinned, glowing eyes. "We saw your memory signal," their leader said. "We had to come." "Why?" Sira asked. "Because we are also built from forgotten stories." All eyes from the dark, the newcomers introduced themselves as the Ekaran, a race thought extinct. They lived inside dying stars, storing the memories of entire civilizations that vanished. "We believed humans were like others," they said. "But your pain is different," Rykel asked. "Why?" "Because you don't forget. You carry your dead with you." The galactic ripple. Over the next few days, more ships arrived. Some were peaceful. Some came to watch, some to warn. The galaxy had changed. Reiko, once a soldier with no past, had become the signal of human truth. And now the universe had a choice: accept it, or try to silence it again. The final echo of the Part 1 night. Reiko stood alone near the core crack. He looked up at the stars. One of them blinked red, then blue. The AI voice returned. "They are building something." "Who?" "The ones who created the makers, the true architects." "What are they building?" "A wall." "A wall to block what?" "You." Rykel smiled. "Then I guess we're finally dangerous enough." The sky had changed again. The stars above Zerion 7 no longer shined freely. Some had gone dark. Others blinked like they were hidden behind something. A structure now spread across the edge of the galaxy. A wall, but it wasn't made from metal or stone. It was built from code. Old alien tech, silent, cold. A digital barrier stretching between stars. It had one purpose: to keep human memory inside. The message arrives back in the old base. The AI spoke softly through the screen. "The architects are afraid. The wall is their answer." Reiko stood quietly, staring at the map of the stars. Sira paced behind him. "They want to trap us?" "No," Reiko said. "They want to trap what we've become." Derek leaned on. "A broken console. So what do we do?" Reiko's eyes burned with fire. "We tear it down." A final plan. The Ekaran. Reikel's new alien allies offered help. They had ancient ships, built to carry stories across space. The wall blocks memory signals, their leader said. "But not emotion, not connection, not sacrifice." Reikel nodded. "Then we send something they can't stop." The memory spherical. Derek and Sira helped the Ekaran build a strange weapon. Not a missile. Not a bomb. A spear of living memory, shaped from pain, love, war, and truth. Inside it, the entire story of XERIN-7. From the first drop of blood to Rickel's awakening. It was too much for any cold race to handle. And that was the point. Earth tries to intervene. Just before launch, an Earth fleet arrived. Commander Voss's face filled the screen again. "Captain Reikel, this is your final warning. Cease your actions." Reikel didn't blink. "You watched us die. Now you want us silent. You are not authorized to speak for humanity." "I don't need authorization," Reikel said. "I am the memory now." All eyes rise behind Reikel. Ships from other planets began to gather. Some had been enemies before. Now, they were curious. Some felt pain in the signal and wanted to learn. One ship sent a simple message: "We believe pain has a place." The launch, the Spear of Memory, was loaded into a ship unlike any other. The Ekaran called it the Carrier of Echoes. Reikel would pilot it alone. Sierra placed a hand on his shoulder. You come back, you hear me? Reichel smiled faintly. Maybe not. But the story will. Derek handed him a small chip. What's this? My memories, he said. In case they try to erase me too. Into the stars, the ship launched. It soared into the black, faster than light, toward the wall between stars. As Reichel got closer, the ship began to shake. Static flooded the speakers. He saw visions, broken planets, lost species, civilizations destroyed by silence, and then the wall. It stood tall in the void, made of pure data, glowing with power. The architects speak. A voice filled the ship, not loud, not angry, just final. You should not exist. Reichel replied calmly, neither should pain. But here we are. Memory causes chaos. Maybe, Reichel said. But it also causes hope. The final choice. The wall opened a small door. A soft voice whispered, give us your memory, and we will let you live. Reichel stared at the glowing panel. If he agreed, his entire journey, everything would be deleted. No more war. No more truth either. He placed his hand on the console. No deal. The spear is thrown. Reichel released the memory. Spear. It flew from the ship like a comet made of light and voices. It struck the wall, not with force, but with feeling. Memories poured in. Lovers lost. Fathers forgotten. Soldiers left behind. Mothers who never gave up. The wall cracked. Then shattered. The signal breaks free all across the galaxy. Screens blinked, new stars appeared, and the human signal spread faster than before. The architects were silent, defeated not by fire, but by truth. Back on Zarian 7, Sarah and Derek watched the stars shift. A message arrived. Memory delivered. Wall broken. Reichel, unknown. Derek clenched his jaw. He did it. Sarah wiped a tear from her eye. He was the spear. The planet sleeps. Zarian 7 slowly quieted. The storms stopped. The core pulsed one last time. Then dimmed. But it left behind something new. A seed. Not of death, but of life. Epilogue. A story that lived years later. A new traveler landed on Zarian 7. She was young, curious. She found a statue in the field. Carved from stone in light. It showed a man standing tall, hand outstretched. At the base, only one line. To be human is not to win, but to never stop asking why. The end.